Alright! We're finally doing this. Hopefully it's working. So it is. Cool. Sorry. Beginning of Dwarf Month has been pushed back a lot. The whole idea behind this month was start at one point, go 2 months on, and just work our way through a Dwarven line with a bunch of Dwarven forces for a bunch of games. But we're finally getting started with the Dwarven wall that I primed already. This is from Terrain Essentials by Cast and Play. It's from the Dwarven City set. I really like the set. We are going to be painting it today to start off Dwarf Month. Let you know, I am Edwis. We are in the body of Elise right now because that's the closest avatar I have. And using their voice right now too. But, and we're going to paint this wall. Now, 3 things to start off with. I may not paint the way you paint. I don't view myself as the greatest painter ever, but this is something that my friends, my community requested that I do. So we're going to paint all of this. This is something I wanted to do for years now. It's this like year-long project where I build a whole like kingdom for different modular war games and stuff. So today I think I'm going to use the Vallejo Metallic. I want to use a Vallejo Gold too. At least one of them. Yeah, like that's quicksand brown, not gold. We're looking for red bands. Okay. Yeah. So a couple of Vallejo Metallics. For the eyes, I am actually going to try to use... Where are they? Where's my color shift? I want to use some color shift in the eye section. While I'm doing that, I'm also... Oh, they're there. Not Evil... What? Evil Force is green to red. I think this is the color we want, Evil Force. So that means we're going to need a darker color because that shows up best on darker colors. We will be using, sorry, I should have been way more organized than this. But you know what? I didn't want it to be. As long as this keeps on recording, we might have to stop a few times. I'm going to try to do this in as few cuts as possible, as little editing as possible. For those of you who know me, you know that's how I like to do things. Well, we are going to have to get the grays. We are going to have to get grays. I kind of want to move this gray. Oh, there's my Necromancer Code. Okay, so we got Vallejo, 2 Vallejo Metallics, Green Stuff World, Evil Dark Forest. See if I can get that in there. Hopefully this is all coming up good for you. Necromancer Cloak, which is kind of a grayish black. I really like it. That's going to be used to base areas like in here, as well as the eyes. So we can get in with like the Evil Forest. And then we're going to use a couple of layers of whatever the heck the grays are that I can find. I mean, it's going to be... We should put some more blood on. I don't want to do blood, really. We're not doing gore today. We will be doing gore, because there's 2 things I feel I do well. I do gore well, and I do bones well. La 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 la. I should have been more organized. So I buy this set. I rebuy it a lot because I use it a lot. There's a great deal from it. So it's a stonework set by Green Stuff World. It's a kit with like 6 or 8 grays in it. Or it's like called like stone or something like that. But it's by Green Stuff World and it's one of their kits. If you like painting gray stuff, I would highly suggest it. I don't have any of my dark grays. I guess we can use Necromancer Flesh for the dark sections. Ooh, turquoise interface. Yeah, I'm going to play with a little turquoise interface. Turquoise interface is like, make it metallic but turquoise. So yeah. So that's kind of our palette. It's not going to be the darkest gray, but stone. It's supposed to be stonework. And of course, a little bit of Nolan oil because I can't deal without my Nolan oil. I mean, we could go this route. The gaming sepia from what's it? AV. Ooh, I can't think of that. Is it Green Stuff or Vallejo? Vallejo. So this is the Vallejo ink. We could go that route. We'll see when we get there. I actually haven't used this to paint much. or sepia much. I don't like it as much as the known oil because I like that nice, like, crisp black finish. And as you can tell, my brush is stuck. But I make do because, one, I'm poor. Two, because I'm not a professional painter. And three, we're doing this for fun, you know? Like, I buy, like, a kit from, like, Wally World and, like, just do up the brushes. I use them however I feel like, and usually they work, you know? But I want to give you guys, like, my real, like, hardcore experience. We are going to switch my Necromancer folks. I think this is the more full one. Oh, please, I forgot to get my, I forgot to get my little pokey thing. Let me go get a pokey thing. So this is how much we're rednecking it. No, sorry, I'm checking the camera because I was having trouble getting the camera to connect to stay connected. So there might be times where I have to cut it to fix the camera, but that'll be it. So I got this kit to fix my phone. It was just literally I get one piece from it, but came with like a bunch of tools for cheap. But yeah, so what I do is when I'm setting up my paints, I do a 1-to-1, one part water, one part paint. And I'm using, this is my big suggestion, if you can get them, cheese wheels, specifically Definois, or, like, what's the brand? Fromage Definois, which is a French brie brand, like, double creme. They make really excellent wet palettes. And I had a bunch of them. I'm running out. I gotta find a way to get them. Like, I'm tempted just to buy, like, a whole wheel of Fromage Definois if I ever had the money. Ooh, I thin that out too much. Well, you'll see, I don't use a lot of GW paint anymore. It's just something I stopped doing because I started really liking, like, Green Stuff World. I like the Vallejo. I like the, and you're seeing me, like, really just slap the sound, by the way. It's been a while since I've actually done terrain. So I'm like, oh, this is big flat places. So you really see a little sloppy at first, but, you know, two thin coats. I have this very, very watered down. But yeah, we're going to get this on here. Try to get a good dark gray on. Now, as I said, ooh, that's not coming out how I want. Let's get there, a different brush. A different brush and a little more of the gray. Now, you guys have a little more light than me. You guys have a lot more light than me. For some reason, the camera captures more light. Maybe that's just the nature of cameras. There we go. So I want this to be a thicker coat with less brush strokes. While I can't already be stuttering. We're going to, like, work our way around this, try to get this done in less than an hour, hopefully. I don't know how big this video file will be, but I'm going to try to upload it as soon as possible. Like as I said, we're just doing this for fun, talking, enjoying ourselves. This is less a tutorial and more a meditative, like, peaceful video. For some reason, my camera won't zoom when I'm in computer mode. So, I'm sorry I'm not more zoomed in. I'll show you what I'm doing, though. So you can see it's in these brush strokes, and I know how I'm doing it. It's probably I got a little too thick now. Either too thick or too thin. It's more too thin, I think. I used the Army Painter Bone primer. It's on top of it, if you can see. The resin I used to print this was Elegoo, the ABS Light Water Washable Transparent Red. I like this resin. There's a few issues with it though, and we will get into that as we're painting. I think I want to do like some resin reviews too. Either here or Remy and friends. We'll find a channel to do it, but as well as a machine review for the machines we're using. But yeah, so we're basically doing a second, like, base coat here with this necromancer, or the necromancer cloak. This is just going to give us our base stone feel. This is like a grayish black or a blackish gray. You'd be the judge. But I've been using this as my black for a lot of things lately. Because, honestly, I don't like going that dark anymore. I'm a big fan of like blanching colors. I've been trying to get away from it, trying different techniques and stuff, which will be attempting different techniques. Like, I have one I really like where I was doing undead in like pastel tones, or pastel neons, and like it looks so cool, like old 80s comic book cool. Almost like a sketch look, and I'm probably going to do that for our Draugr. This week we're going to do some Dwarf Draugr. I'm probably going to start with the king. But yeah. Just let you know, none of this is sponsored. There is no sponsorship with this. It's just, I chose models I liked. So you're going to see a lot of Terrain Essentials. You're going to see a lot of Artisan's Guild, but that's just because those are my favorite 3D printer models. But yeah, so we're painting the stone. It's okay if we get a little marbling. It's okay, like, I don't need it to be perfect. That's it. I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this to teach. I'm not doing this for anything. I'm just showing you guys my process, and hopefully, you know, I can improve as I'm going, but hopefully maybe I can teach you guys something or two, a way or two, a technique you didn't know. I really got this way too wet, but you know, I don't care. It's also very humid out because I am in my bunkhouse. My bunkhouse is just outside of the house. It doesn't have insulation from the outside, so like the humidity from the rain is coming in. So it's probably not even the ideal situation, but you know what? I'm liking what it's doing. I'm actually liking the marbling. Happy little aspects, right? Now hopefully I'm pretty audible to you guys. This is the first video we're doing. This is the first video uploaded in a long time to the Halfling Tabletop channel. First video after we changed the name. And I want it to be something cool. I've been like dreaming about painting this model for a while. This is my first time painting on this resin. I had a cool thing when I primed them. A lot of them I primed with tape over certain areas, because I wanted to see how that tape worked. Or like I wanted like crystals or lava to be just the pure resin. I'm going to put like ink over it or an effect. But like we're going to try a bunch of things. I'm hoping everything works out well. Just don't mind me. I'm a little nervous. I'm treating this like a live stream, like, you know, just without me responding to people. Because like right now I'm watching my stream elements, or Streamlabs, pardon my switch. I'm watching my Streamlabs and taking note how the camera is, where the camera's in the seat, we get the gray. I'm using the brush strokes kind of to my advantage. Make it look more like shale or slate. You know, if I'm going to have mistakes on here, I'm going to make it work for me. I've done this before, where like I've taken this exact paint, made it way too thin, or like gray paint's made it way too thin, and just like, oh, I'm just going to move the brush strokes around, give it marbling effects and stuff. This is something I've done to cover my mistakes, not to. We'll do this part last here, I think. This is going to be my handle until we're there. Alright, you can see a little bit of the resin there too, like how it comes in. We have no like color correction lights right now on it, so bear with me. We're still experimenting with the setup. I mean, you can see I got my ASMR mics going through Voicemod. We're using my ASMR mics are toners. We're using an Ordo camera, whatever brand that is. For the video footage. There is a light for it, but I couldn't get the light working in time, and it's like 3, 4 in the morning. that I'm filming this, so yeah, take that as you will. I am a night person though. But yeah, we printed off a bunch of stuff. I spent about a month and a half, 2 months printing stuff out and getting stuff ready for these, and like, obviously I'm doing models I want. Like, we got like a crap ton of Artisan Guild model, or dwarfs. We will be talking about their new game here soon. Let's get a little more paint down there. I like how this is turning out. What am I hearing clanking? It sounded like my cat eating. Like, at first I thought it was, then I realized I was outside and upstairs. Alright. Squeeze some more of that out. My wife wanted to make sure my, oh, that's my table. I'm like clanking around my table. I don't know if you guys even heard that. But yeah, so I figured we could have some fun here. I'm going to go over this. We'll probably do a dry brush of the turquoise gray, and then I'm going to do some edging with the moon gray. Moon gray is almost a white. I have a model upstairs that I walk by every day, right? It's right near my stairwell, like the shelf with it. It's a stone rock creature. It's supposed to be like a elemental by using like a golem, like a rough golem. And like, I love that thing, right? And this is kind of the technique I used on it. Because it's almost like a terrain piece level thing. I printed it with an FDM printer, so I had to work with that. And this is when I first started 3D printing. Now, mind you, I'm just now learning resin. I've done like FDM for a long time. And so I tested painting like this back when we first moved out to where we're living now. And when we first started using non-GW paints. And like, I had fun with this because it's like, oh, I'm making these mistakes. Like you can see the brush strokes. You see like clearly that it's not perfect. But like, just using those brush strokes to my benefit. I don't know if it's because I'm painting on like non-gray resin, if it's the layering, because I'm not using like a layering or a base coat or whatever, or if I'm just thinning the paint too much or not enough or whatnot. But like for stone, it gets so cool when you get these like spots in there of like lighter color, because like, you ever look at stone? It's never perfect. It's never just a uniform color. And it reads so well when it gets done too. So I got this model I walk by every day, and like it was the first time using some of these paints, like the color shift, and like I use a color shift on the eye for it, and like the stonework paint is actually the first thing I ever painted with this stonework. And we decided to change up to non-GW paints because one day I was like, oh, I'm tired of the price. I'm tired of the color limitations. I'm tired of the scrub girl. I want to see some of the effects and whatnot. So what we're going to do here is once I get a lot of the sound, we're going to dry brush. But once it dries. Now, because we're not doing this in a traditional sense, I am hopefully going to not have too many takes, so you can hear the birdies. I'm not going to have too many takes with this, so I got to get up, I got to stand up and change things over if I want to stop the video. I can't do it from where I'm at. And then I got to worry about the camera and all that stuff, so what we might do is just sit down and chat. Talk about a few things that we're going to do with Dwarf Month and beyond, So like, Dwarf Month originally comes from the idea of the 1 year plan. What the 1 year plan is when I was first introduced to themes like Dragons Rampant, I had the idea of, I want to do a project where I create a whole kingdom for these random games, right? These games where you play as an army that you design your own stats, like so like OPR, one-page rules, Hobgoblin, and even Oathmark. I'm counting Oathmark in this, as well as other games like Frostgrave, right? Take and edit a Force 4 Frostgrave that fit, whatever kingdom I did. Now originally it was going to be dwarves and goblins, but like I've started really getting into this whole idea of a more diverse kingdom, a more diverse setup. Right, we'll put this back over here. We gotta let that dry for a few minutes. Usually I let it dry for like 10 to 15 minutes, but like I doubt you guys want to sit around for that. I could just edit this together, let it dry, spread or get off my legs, We'll see. I don't know why I have my headset on. Like it's not like I'm hearing anything through the thing except, I'm talking to you guys. I'm watching my little bars go, hoping that, everything works. But yeah. So what we'll be doing next, so let's clean this brush. We're done with this. I'm not going to try to get rid of the brush strokes. I'm not going to try to get rid of the marbling. I like how it looks. It's got a weathered slate look, and that's kind of what I wanted. Now what we're going to do next is gray teal on the stone. Or we can start putting on the gold and silver, where I'm going to do gold on most of the helmet and silver in other areas. The idea being like, this is this grand statue that the dwarfs put here. Either way, it's going to be, I'm touching probably wet, or somewhat wet paint. So it's going to be this whole area up here, this kind of, splotchy, it's going to be facing the painting. But we'll do that in gold, and I'll probably do the face in silver and the eyes. We'll do that evil forest, give it kind of a glow. The rest of it is the stones will be dry brushed with gray teal, the known oil or sepia, whichever I just might actually do the sepia. The sepia, wow, pick up the wrong one even. Sorry, I am horrible at pronouncing this word. We might actually do this before anything else, just because I want to give it kind of a dirty look. Not anything, not the face, but I mean any of the rest of the stone. And then we'll edge it with luminous gray, which is probably one of the lighter grays I have. The two sets I heavily buy. I'm looking over here because I have the box for one. It's Skeleton Bones by Green Stuff World, and then I think it's just called Stone by Green Stuff World. The stone one is pretty. Yeah, this isn't drying as fast as it usually does. The stone one is pretty. I really like it. I think it's an excellent paint. And so is the bone. The bone's been my whites, my bone colors, all that stuff come from bone now. I used to use the GW ones, it just was so expensive. Actually, the whole reason I didn't do a undead army in Warhammer originally was because the cost, or in Age of Sigmar originally was, I started one. I painted one skeleton, it took me 12 hours. I'm like, nope. Hold on a second, I gotta get a drink. This is how prepared I am. Yeah, I was like, nope, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to put myself 2 models. It took me a total of 10, 20 hours. Or it was about 12 hours for one and another 8 hours for the other. For 2 models and a horde army. I'm like, no. Were they pretty? Oh, hell yeah. They're gorgeous models. And the same with Nurgle. I wouldn't do a Nurgle army because Nurgle models take me just as long. If not longer, because I like doing ick. I like doing gross. I like doing bones. I'm learning stone right now. But yeah. Those are kind of what my wife considers my wheelhouse. Do I feel the same way about my painting? I don't know. I know some people like my painting, but I question my painting. I do. I'm talking with my hands. You see my hand disappear. But yeah, we're going to see. It's starting to get like, I don't know how long this video is going to be. We're already 25 minutes in. Alright, we're going to get the gold sprayed. Ooh, I got it. Too thin. See if I get a little better. Well, that's going to be how thin it is. I don't think I want as much water as I use. Ooh, the brush is still a little dirty. The brush is really dirty. So we're going to have a little gray in here. If I cuss out, I'm sorry. YouTube, please don't get mad at me. So we're going to do the helmet. This gold. I probably should wait a little longer to paint this, but no. It's probably going to fight me. My thought is this is a statue built into the walls of the mine. You know, the Dink Crag was a dwarvish kingdom before, you know, the witches took over it. The dwarfs that remained did so because they were in, or they wanted to be near their ancestral homes without the witches' control. I look at maybe the witches were, ooh, I am doing horrible. So I don't know if the camera's picking up some of my mistakes. I got a little too thick here, I thought. But now that I look at it in the light, it didn't. As I said, I could probably have waited a little longer for the drying, but I wanted to get started on this. I am kind of fighting time, because I'm starting to see sunrise. And I don't know how that's going to affect the lighting here. I didn't clean my brush enough.
But yeah.
Oops.
Try my brush a little more. So I'm so alright. I'll do this with brush. I've had it, or to dry the brush or check the color or whatnot. I've
Had it to where, like, the color palette I was using had my wife so terrified that I was bruised up. She, like, freaked out, almost called an ambulance. I'm like, no, that's just paint, that's just paint. So I was doing, like, blues and blacks and stuff, and, like, a little bit of reds, and it looked like they flushed, fix that. Okay. So I'm also checking this gold for another model I'm painting. It was going to be the second model I painted today, but like because of when I got started, I couldn't. Like we're only going to do one tonight, and that's the Fallen King from the Dwarf Blade set for Artisan Guild. They have it's called Curse of Goldwing. So they have this king, right? He's got these like crystallized gold rings on his back. Like, because in their world, the dwarfs at one point in time were ruled by the Jotun. Well, they say Jotun, but I don't pronounce it like that. They're ruled by Jotun, and like the Jotun had to basically kill off a bunch of lizardmen. So the lizardmen attacked and like retaliated, killing them off. But Golden Grudge, like, kept them alive. Or at least that's what I was getting from the story I was reading and hearing from their website. And like, it's so cool. So you get this like undead giant dwarf with gold veins on his back and a giant pickaxe, and like, oh, I can't wait to paint him. Got that. So that's what you do. We don't have to touch my color block for anything anyways. And the good thing about this, because it's not touching the area we're going to do next, is our brush. And I'm only using this brush. Show you what I'm using right now, because I'm not doing the fine details. I'm not edge working yet. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So we only need the one brush right now. How dare I, though? But we should only need a little bit. That's all dry out. Was that dry? How is that not dry? That's been there for weeks. Anyways. Alright, this is coming out pretty good. Okay, cool. The gold came out a little thin. The metallic gray, like the gunbolt metal color, came out fine. So I figured is the dwarfs of the mountain, or the dwarfs of King Crag, would build these like metallic statues deep into the mines. You know, so like when the witches made the deals with them for mineral resources and stuff, you know, the witches of Deadshire, you know, their culture was already preserved with these like stone and steel and gold statues. We can even like where we had the layer covers, make it look like purposely like a little silver stone here. Like maybe this was a vein, you know, maybe this was a section of the mine that had a vein in it. They decided to forge into the helmet. Or not into the helmet, into the statue. So I like this. We might go the whole thing with this. Because look, it's simple, but like, I might do the whole thing with this. Now, I'm not a big non-metallics person. Like, yeah, it takes a lot of skill to do, and I don't have that skill. Not even that. I just don't like the look for what I do. Now, like, for people who are displaying it and stuff, yeah, it's obviously really amazing. It would make this look like lodestone. Nice. I actually am glad I did this. But, like, it's not my style, you know. I prefer to use a metallic paint. For the longest time, I used GW's metallics, of course. You know, we all have that point where we're using GW stuff. No, usually. I shouldn't say all. I should say usually. But, like, yeah, you should exclusively use GW paints and, like, but, like, I started using this brand, as I said. I liked it. I liked how it turned out. I liked how it looked. Or these brands. We're not just using one brand. And, like, that's the other thing. I stopped caring about brands. I stopped caring about, oh, this is the paint brand I'm using. It started, like, do I like this paint? If yes, I get it. If no, I don't get it, you know? Like, do I like the metallic from Vallejo? Yeah, I actually really do. Hopefully you guys can kind of at least see what I'm doing. I'm trying to give you guys a good look. I'm doing it, but it's kind of hard. As I said, we're experimenting. We'll learn how to place the cameras and stuff. This is a different camcorder than I was using years ago. For those who've been around that long. But, yeah. But, like, you know, we were like, oh, hey, we like this paint. Let's try it. And we tried like 3 or 4 different brands. I even have some Army Builder. Army Builder comes off a little cheap to me sometimes, but I like some of the flesh tones or zombie tones. I'm trying to think what the... I have some military paint we're going to be using. I might do that on the Patreon. Paint my mechs up for Steel Rift. But I have some Soviet paint. I'm playing Authority in Steel Rift, and I'm going to play a Soviet-themed army. Like how that turned out. Now, I am going to do the no-oil over the, instead of the sepia. Because I think the no-oil will look better. Which kind of find correct. I know I should get myself one of those claw things. Or not claw things, those handle things, but I don't care. This is for my fun, you know? A little bit here, I guess, there. There we go. I don't even have good lighting in here. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but we don't have good lighting. So I can't tell this silver or gold there. If I got all of the bricks, which I don't think I did, I'm missing spots here. God, I kind of really like that. Yeah, let's let that dry for a little bit, just like we did. This is turning out cool. I might actually do this more. So some of the mobs, we have a lot of the Doomlock dwarfs from our doing. And they, like, a lot of them have, like, black slag armor on. And I think I'm going to do this, what I'm doing here, but kind of in reverse. Like, do the silver first and then do the Necromancer Gray. Or Necromancer Cloak. I don't have, like, an actual stark black yet. Or anymore. Yet. I've had it in the past. I just don't have it anymore. I almost want to paint his beard. Nah. So this paint here, or not this paint, this paint here. The color shift from the callus. You have to do a lot of layers for this. It has to be on a darker paint. You do a lot of light when it barely shows up. I'm just taking this up for now. And then this one, kind of the same thing, it's more tinted. Like, you gotta do a handful of layers, but we will be doing that in a second. Ooh, he seems to be a little bit into the day. But you know what? We're getting sun. I'm going to be right back. I'm just standing up, checking the time, and getting a sip of my drink. It is officially 5 in the morning. I got to get to bed by 7, so yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. I'm excited for this. This is like something I've been wanting to do for a while. So the gold's taking a little longer. Oh, I missed a little bit of the... Nope, that's the wrong color. That's the wrong brush. As you can tell, I don't care if I get paint on my hands. Do a little bit of the metal or metallic. We missed some of the areas here. I'm going to have more light here in a second. I'm going to have a lot more light here in a second. Sunrise is on the way. Now it's still, those who do not know, time of year is for me. It is May 19th. So we've had kind of a harsh, like, back and forth. Like, it's been getting really warm and really cold, really warm and really cold. So, like, yeah. Now, alright, if y'all are wondering why such a wide palette here that I have on here, this isn't all of our paints. This isn't even close. The reason we have a wide palette is I've been painting a lot of Don't Look Back models, which are all like 80s teenagers and adults going against like movie killers. So like, I have to have like a plethora of colors to make it work. I do kind of wish though. Oh man. We're still waiting for the lift drying. Sorry, I forgot to mute my phone. Look at me being so professional. I'm just actually making sure it's not my wife trying to get a hold of me. Because she's upstairs. And she's like, if you need me. Nah, someone just went live, so. But like, she's like, if you need me, message me. And she's going to probably message at one point. Like, are you okay? You've been in there for a while. Which is good. Like, you know, I love her. I love her a lot. It's just she checks in. Because with like my mental illness and stuff, and my not personality, bad. My God, I said the wrong word. I have a dissociative disorder, so like she checks and makes sure I'm okay. Carrying too much already. But no, she checks to make sure I'm doing okay and I'm holding in there and stuff, and like she is a very good and kind person. Right, we're doing the evil forest now. Now this stuff dries way lighter than you would think. So like my idea is, when I say way lighter, I mean it barely paints the area. So my idea is I'm going to edge around like some of the stuff. It will come up differently on the gold as it does the silver. That's what I'm thinking on. So what this is a kind of a metallic color shift that goes between green and red. They have other colors, so we bought like one of the packs of this. So it's not actually going to paint the color on there. It's going to give a shifting area where it will have that tint, is the idea. Now, if I'm doing this for games on camera, why am I doing this? Because I want to. We gotta go over these areas like a handful of times. Sorry, I'm using it's like really cheap brushes. I got set for like $5. Why do I buy expensive brushes? Because I am really hot by brushes. I will be the first to admit this. As I said, I'm not the best painter. I do enough painting for what I want to do. So if you're like sitting here watching my techniques like, oh, no, do this, not that, I'm not here to teach. No, I'm here to kind of give like, I'm being teaching the ways of being calm, relax, and chill when you do it, yeah. But not in the ways of like, oh, this is how you paint. This is how you make a golden demon winning paint job. No. I'm nowhere that skilled. The people who are amazing, don't get me wrong. But here, show you one soon. It's kind of like how it's turning out, you know? We're going to no oil next, I think. Now the thing with terrain, I always like to use less detail in the terrain, like less paint in the terrain. Because to me, that comes out better, like when you're playing a game. Because, alright, I'll be honest, I have cognitive issues. And so like if like the terrain is so ultra detailed, sometimes I kind of lose myself in that. You know, like I won't see the models as well. Or what's going on. So what I like to do is give the terrain enough detail so like the models still can stick out. Yes, I'm using the known oil. I know there's people who are probably screaming and like, I don't care. I don't care. I will be using it wrong. I guarantee it. I want it. I like how known oil looks. I'm not just going to dip in there. I'm just more going to use it for the recesses, and some of the more detailed areas. I didn't let it dry enough. I'm pulling up some silver, so I'm realizing. Yeah, I know I can't sing. I still like doing that. Yeah, so I don't know. Because I don't partake in a lot of that community on Facebook anymore. Like I used to do like a lot more like painting communities on Facebook and like other sites. I'm still doing it on Blue Sky, like look at the miniature stuff on Blue Sky, but like that's going to be a lot nicer, thankfully. Or at least the communities I'm in. But I know like some people have their issues or had their issues with known oil. You know, I'm a firm believer if you have a tool and you want to use it, use it. I don't believe there's no. I don't believe in, oh, hobbies have cheating. It's like, okay. Like I'm using known oil to just kind of highlight areas and that I want to highlight and darken and dingy up. So my problem with known oil is it gives it kind of a wet look. There's part of me that likes that. Like there's part of me that looks at the wet look and like, oh man, that feels like when I started minis in like the late 90s, early 2000s, you know, like when I started miniature wargaming, then like you get these like horribly wet models, you know, people would use these like layers or like this clear layer that made it just look kind of gross in a cool way. I kind of miss that. So like sometimes I don't mind. Like sometimes it's nostalgic, you know? But like, as I said, I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for anyone else. Even recording this, I'm doing this for me. I want Dwarf Minds for a long time, so what am I doing? I'm making myself some Dwarf Minds. You know, if I'm enjoying it, that's all that matters. And here's the thing, when you do your own hobby stuff, if you enjoy it, that's all that matters, you know? It's a hobby, it's fun, it's supposed to get your mind off stuff. See? And to me, stinginess from the known oil just ages it. It makes it look so cool to me. Like you can see here. Now, yeah, we're going to have to do a little bit of detail on the rocks. We are going to go over with a lighter paint on the main rock structures. But, like, you know what? That's going to look so cool, in my opinion. Having that metallic underneath, and we go over, get like the lighter color, make it look like the metallic's just kind of showing through, you know? And we might go over with another like layer of like known oil or whatnot. Because like honestly, it didn't show up as much as I thought it would. Again, the problems of not having a lot of light in your workspace. But yeah, like the real importance of the hobby is if you're having fun. If you're doing what you want to do. You don't have to be a master painter. I mean, I'm obviously not. Yeah, I'm just doing what I do, what I like to do. This is peaceful to me. Will I look at this on my shelf and be like, oh, I like that, I'm proud of that? Yeah, I actually will. Like, it's turned out how I want it. A little bit of the color shift is showing through. You got like the dusky little bit of green in there. Here, we get closer. You know. Then like I'm going to dry brush it here in a second once I wash this brush. And like I see people like, oh, dry brushing is cheating, or this is cheating, or that is cheating, no oil is cheating. It's like there's no cheating in hobbies. Like in the painting part. There's just techniques you like to do. Ways you like to do it. You know? Like people talk about slapshot, which we will do slapshot later on. That's something that I have to get the brushes for, but that is a technique I do know how to do. I've done a lot of dry brushing over the years and like slapshot and stuff. I painted like I actually dry brushing is how we're going to do the bones for the most part. Alright, hold far enough. There we go. The one thing I hate about these paints is the holes clog up for me. A lot. So we're going to dry brush. So I'm going to get on the brush and then like get as much of it off the brush as possible, right? I don't know if you can see it. This is the teal gray. It's a nice like. See, I wish I had another one of these. A friend of mine convinced me to throw away a bunch of them. So what we just want to do is try to share on there, which is not on there, on here.
Yeah, we're pulling up some that don't know. That's fine.
That's what we do. We're getting some definition on the higher things. So when you dry brush, which is not fair enough, your dry brush, it's just bringing up the higher layers of it. It's not getting into the cracks and crannies and stuff. So what we're getting here, I don't know if you can see the difference there. I can. Or I can, at least imagine I do. You got a little down there, but, that's going to be pretty. So let's get one side at a time. And, I'm not worried too much about, is this a little too thick? But we're working with stone. Stone's not perfect. Remember that. Stone's not perfect. Especially rock, rough rock. We got that kind of, hematite, that lodestone look to it, but we're going to have that scale feel over it, And we could edge. Let me rephrase that. We could, do some edging on the model, put, raise it, or take the raised edges and put lighter color on, which we might, We'll see how I feel when I get this done, the dry brushing done. So you see, basically what I do is I leave a very, I don't have it super dry. I'm doing kind of a heavier brush than it should be for it. But basically, for those who don't know what dry brush is, you take your paint and then you leave barely any paint left on the brush, right? And you just go over it loosely, kind of like this, and it just covers the area. It mainly touches the highlighted areas, it mainly touches the broad areas. But it'll give it a nice texture. And I am pouring paint off with my fingers. Because I didn't wait for it to dry as much as I'd like. Usually I would wait until the paint is dry on the palette before I start the next color usually. But that's unfeasible for these videos. We're doing a video where I'm just doing it one take, so I can't just sit there and wait for the paint to dry, Ooh, I do like how this turned out. Now, this is going to have to be my technique for the other terrain pieces, I think, or at least to some degree, because we got a lot of stonework we're going to be doing. Yeah, that looks so cool. That turned out way cooler than I thought. I think that will be good. Just a little bit of touch up here. There we go. Now, I want to show you something cool. Why I did a stone up there too. Now, this isn't going to be something that's picked up in a lot of camera stuff. And I don't know if it'll work after paint. If I want to test it, since we're on camera, we might as well. So I'm taking my phone. I'm going to use my password because my fingerprint's not working because it's covered in paint. So you see, we've got light going. Check this out. Check this out. You can see it lights up from the inside. This is the effect I want to get. So what I might be doing is getting some light panels. So here, let's get closer. See, ooh, speaking good. Now you look. I'm actually satisfied with that. Is it perfect? No, not at all. Now, would it win any awards? No. But that's not why I'm claiming that I'm going to do that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to sit down, relax, have fun while painting. Now, hopefully that's all that you guys need to do. Just sit down, relax, and have fun. Because in the end, this is a hobby. This is entertainment. And it's meant to be there for your enjoyment. But until next time, I love you all. Y'all have a good day. Bye.